Hey, everybody, Manning here, Noah Dalzell alongside, and the Celtics just completed their first practice ahead of the NBA playoffs, and Jaylen Brown participated. Positive reviews for his performance here today, too. Wasn't limited, Joe Mazzulla said. And this is the first time we're seeing him since the injection, so super positive sign.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw him with our own eyes go through his usual shooting drills. He didn't appear limited at all. He did the exact same things that he normally does. None of those things are super strenuous, but it was good to see. But above what we saw, I think what we heard from multiple teammates was most encouraging here.
Here's what Drew Holiday had to say as well.
He looked great today. I was very happy to see him out there doing everything. So it's a really good sign for us. He looked good to me. I think JB just is going to be JB in terms of not showing weakness. Everything is about not showing weakness, and for him and being able to bring the strongest mentally and physically. So nobody's worried about him. We all know that he wants to be out on the court every time we play.
So Al said he looked great. Drew said he looked fine. He thinks he's fine injury-wise as well. So I think both of them combined is a good indication of what actually happened out there. Joe was pretty light in his comments. I asked him about the minutes limit that he was playing under and how they'll work that back up, and he really didn't answer that. But this is just day one for him being back, him being able to go through everything. And again, didn't look like he was in pain. It was just some light shooting, as you mentioned, that he was doing out there. So couldn't glean a ton from that. But I wasn't sure if we were going to see him out here today.
Yeah, he hasn't been super around the last couple of games. I mean, he mostly, when he's out, he usually watches games from what I assume the locker room. But he hasn't been super around, but he was out for the entire time, right in front of us, working out.
In good spirits, too.
Yeah, he seemed like he was in good spirits, joking around with Joe Mazzulla a little bit there, I saw. But I think the big message, and some of it might be a coordinated message, like they talked and like this is how we're going to talk
After the
about.
Peyton comments.
I didn't think Peyton's comments or anything, but I think there is a certain level of like they don't want to show weakness heading into the first round of the playoffs, and so having the message out of this practice be Jaylen looked really good is smart. I'm not saying he didn't look really good, but I wasn't surprised that was their messaging, and I thought Drew Holiday said nobody's worried about Jaylen. I think there's something to that. Like on the outside, we're looking for stories, we're looking for points of concern, and obviously Jaylen's knee is going to be one of those things, but on the inside, like they're getting ready for the playoffs. One of their players is dealing with something that they feel pretty confident that he's going to be able to push through. And I don't think everybody's going home being like, oh my God, Jaylen's not going to be available. Like I think people feel pretty good about the situation that they're in. And the fact that everybody practiced today too, like that's a really good spot to be in this time of the year, to have everybody be available to play.
They get the longer layoff now too. Sunday, we don't have a time yet. Magic Hawks will decide the schedule as well as the opponent tonight. And so everyone's waiting that. Didn't sound like they were going to be watching too much of that tonight, at least together. But Jaylen should be good to go on Sunday. That was Joe's indication when we asked him on the previous Sunday before that game. And I think Jaylen's appearance here makes that all the more likely. It's just how's it going to react as the playoffs continue, as they go night to night, and especially into the second round where you start to play every other day. I think even though we don't have a schedule yet, there's usually longer layoffs between games 1 and 2, and then especially games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think the question remains how limited he's going to be, particularly on the defensive end where he's emerged as such a critical weapon for this team. Not so much is he going to be available. Every indication has been he's going to be available. 100% confidence from Joe Mazzulla last week. ESPN reported that. That's been pretty consistent. But obviously we haven't seen him defend at a really high level in quite some time now. And so that's going to be important for them. Maybe not in the first round they can get away with it, especially if they face a team like the Magic that has a pretty anemic offense. But down the stretch, like his defense is going to be critical in their title chances. And so we've all watched Jaylen for enough time now that we know what a normal Jaylen Brown looks like, how he moves, how he explodes to the basket. So I think within 5 minutes into Sunday's game, we're going to be able to tell, like, okay, this is not the normal Jaylen Brown, or this is a guy who looks a lot better than we last saw in the Knicks game, which is the last time we saw him in the regular season.
And even if he isn't the usual explosive self, I look back at the numbers, and those 7 games he played before the end of the year was 50% shooting, 40% three-pointer. He, as we talked about, found ways to be effective through it. It's just, will there be a minutes limit? Will there be stretches where he can't play, or maybe even games down the line where he can't play? But the availability for the start of the playoffs is definitely, I'd say, based on today and Joe's comments and all the things you mentioned there, out of the question. I think he's going to be good to go here. And we'll have another practice tomorrow to see where he's at and see what other developments happen this week. We'll react to who the Celtics' first-round opponent is tonight as well after the game. So join us for that and check out Noah's work. Celtics blog, also WNBA draft coverage from last night as well over on SB Nation. And check us out over on CLNSmedia.com, Celtics All Access. We talked to Lauren Williams, who covers the Hawks, so you can check out that podcast and discuss Jaylen's situation a little more with Chris Gasper the other day as well. You got Boston. Make sure to check that out with Noah. And we will talk to you back here at practice tomorrow. For Noah Dalzell, I'm Bobby Manning. Jaylen Brown returned to practice today after the injection on his knee and looked great, according to Al Horford.